crowd came to the Wellington opening of Britain's new colour film on Scott's fateful last journey to the South Pole. An early arrival was Mr. A.R. Cutler, V.C., Australian High Commissioner, and so was Mr. A.N. Pepper, wearing the medal here as a member of Scott's final expedition. The Soviet Union was represented by its minister, Mr. A. Alexandrov, in a dark coat, and Mr. P. Ermischen, Legation First Secretary. Representing the Netherlands was the Dutch consul, Mr. J.G.D. Penning. Canada's acting High Commissioner, Dr. W.C. Hopper and Mrs. Hopper, came with the Danish Chargé d'Affaires, Mr. Fensmark. Mr. E. Tyler, consul for Switzerland, was there too. The Mayor and Mayoress of Wellington were warmly greeted by a representative of the film distributors and by the theatre manager. Most distinguished arrivals of the evening were Their Excellencies the Governor-General and Lady Freiberg, who came with members of their staff. In spite of a wet night, the Wellington crowd swarmed in with a will, and box office did a good trade. Young and old came to see enacted the epic journey of a great British explorer who was closely linked with New Zealand. Beside Lake Tekapo, contestants get smartly off their marks in the New Zealand Ice Skating Championships. In the men's 220 speed championship, no time was lost rounding the bend. The faster they go, the harder they fall. R. Blair was the winner. From hectic sprinting to graceful dancing on what must be the country's smoothest floor, Miss Rosemary Murray and Mr. T.C. Grigg glide their way to victory in the Pairs Skating Championship. The next event was the Dancing Championship. The neatest figure in the Figure Skating Championship was cut by Miss Shirley Buchanan. In the women's 220, the pace wasn't any less furious than the men's, even though at the rink's edges, thin ice was a real hazard. Leading all the way round, Miss Buchanan won this time too. There aren't many as skilled in this exhilarating sport.
At Hobsonville Air Base, final adjustments are made to the Sunderland flying boat Takitimu. Motors coming from the test bench are lined up in position before the plane is moved off down to the sea. The flying boat started life with the RNZAF in the last months of the war, and she has now been stripped and spliced together again as a civil airliner. After months of structural alteration, she moves off down to the water for flight tests. Conversion has meant a big job for National Airways Corporation staff and Auckland contractors. At Mechanics Bay, flight engineers come aboard and carry out tests prior to the flying boat going into the air. Taxiing along Waitemata Harbour, the engineers test the plane's controls. Everything must function perfectly. A pilot launch keeps the taxiing area clear of small craft with any debris. These tests are the culmination of a major plane conversion. The machine has been completely re-engined and adapted to carry 26 passengers and a crew of 8. And it's okay for flight. Royal Mail Auxiliary Takitimu takes the air, ready to carry passengers and mail to Fiji and the islands.